So today we're gonna start from question number 73. So question 73 says your network contains an on-premises Active Directory domain that syncs with Azure AD tenant. Now remember this is very important because it says the Active Directory domain service is synced with Azure AD. That means all the devices um, on the Active Directory are synced with Azure AD as well. So it is kind of hybrid join. Okay, now the tenant contains the users shown in the following table. So these are users, user 1, user 2, and group 1, group 2, and on premises sync, disable, and enable. So for users, user 1 is disabled on premises, and that means with local Active Directory. User 2 is on premises sync is enabled, but the devices are all synced with Azure AD. Okay, so you assign Windows 10 11 Enterprise E5 licenses to group 1 and user 2. Now this license is it is called subscription license. So a Windows can be upgraded using subscription services we discussed in the previous questions. Okay, so you deploy the devices shown in the following table. Now these are the devices, device 1, 2, and this one is device 3. Okay, device 3, I'm gonna cut this out. So this one is device 3. So device 3 is device 1 has Windows 11 Pro, device 2 has Windows 11 Pro as well. Okay, device 1 is joined Azure AD, device 2 is Active Directory, joined to Active Directory, and device 3 is Windows 10 Pro and is Azure AD joined. Now the question here, if you see the first one, it says if user 1 signs in to device 1 is upgraded to Windows 11 Enterprise automatically. So this is possible um, because here if you see device 1 is Azure AD synced, and subscription upgrade works on hybrid join if they are synced with Azure AD, and device 1 is already synced with Azure AD, right? So if user 1 signs into device 1 is upgraded to Windows 11 Enterprise automatically. So that's true, because the reason I told you is that it is a hybrid join. If user 2 signs in to device 2 is upgraded to Windows 11 Enterprise automatically. Now here it says that device 2 is Active Directory joined. But if you read the question I told you to make a note of this one, Active Directory domain service, they are automatically synced. So that means even if it doesn't say here that this is Azure AD join, so Active Directory is already synced. So that means device 2 is also hybrid join. Yeah, if it wouldn't say that the domain Active Directory domain services are synced with Azure AD. So if they were not synced with Azure AD, then device 2 would not be upgraded, because device 2 is um, only synced with Active Directory, not with Azure AD, while subscription services works on Azure, not only on Active Directory. So in this case active device 2 is added, um, is joined to active directory, and active directory is synced with Azure AD. So here device 2 is also upgraded, is also will also be upgraded to Windows 11 Pro. Now device 3, if you see device 3, okay, so that is the question. If user 2 signs into device 2, device 2 is upgraded to Windows 11 Enterprise automatically, and yes, that is true. Yeah, so both of these are yes. If you see user 2, if user 2 signs in to device 3, device 3 is upgraded to Windows 11 Enterprise automatically. Now if you see here, Windows device 3 has Windows 10 installed, while it says that the device 3 will be upgraded to Windows 11. Now the thing I should let me tell you about the subscription. So subscription activation or subscription upgrade only upgrades the version, right? Not the whole operating system. So if you say that your subscription upgrade will upgrade your Windows 10 to Windows 11, so they won't work. Only Windows 10 can be upgraded, Windows 10 Pro can be upgraded to Windows 10 Enterprise, right? So can be upgraded to Windows 10 Enterprise, Windows 10 Education, or whatever. So these are called the versions, sorry, edition. So Windows 10 Pro is edition, right? And Windows 10 Enterprise is also in edition. So Windows 10 Pro cannot be upgraded to Windows 11 Enterprise, not even to Windows 11 Pro, because it is the whole version upgrade, and the whole version, like I said, the version is Windows 10 or Windows 11. These are the versions. So Windows 10 cannot be upgraded to Windows 11 at all. Only you can upgrade is from Pro to Enterprise or to Education. So device 3, if user 2 signs into device 3 is upgraded to Windows 11. When cannot be upgraded to Windows 11 because here it is Windows 10, right? So that is no. Just remember about this one. If user 2 signs into device 2 is upgraded to Windows 11 Enterprise automatically. So technically it shouldn't be upgraded, because here you see device 2 has Windows 11 Pro and is joined to Active Directory. So from here you should say that it shouldn't be, because devices only joined to Active Directory are not uh, supported by subscription upgrade. But the thing I told you, it here it says it mentions that Active Directory domain service syncs with the Azure AD tenant. That means even device 2 is synced with only Active Directory, so Active Directory is again synced with Azure AD. So in both these two are correct. Yes, both of these devices will be upgraded, but device 3 will not be upgraded. Okay, so question number 74. Your network contains an Active Directory domain named adoton.com and a workgroup and computers that run Windows. So these are the Active Directory domain, um, a workgroup and computers that run Windows 10. The computers are configured as shown in the following tables: computer 1, 2, and 3. So these are computer 1 2 are the member of adatom.com and has a domain profile. Computer 3 is a member of work group and is a public, configured as public profile. Now the local administrator account on computer 1, computer 2 and computer 3 have the same username and password. On computer 1, computer 1, Windows Defender firewall is configured as shown in the following exhibit. So let's skip this for a while and go to go to answer area. So in the answer area, the first question is asking, from computer 2 you can use disk management to manage computer 1 remotely. So let's say let's see if computer 1, if computer 2 can use disk management to manage computer 1 remotely or not. So if you go to the exhibit here, it says what is related feature that is allowed. So all these marked checked are allowed, and then you can also see that whether they are allowed to domain, to private profile or to public profile. So if you see that remote service management is only allowed to domain profile, not to private or public. Let's see. Okay, if you see remote volume management is something that is used that will be used by computer 2 to manage disk on computer 1. So this is the profile, and remote volume management is disabled, it's not enabled. Yeah, so that means that this statement is no, because the volume management is not enabled. So from computer 2 you cannot use disk management to manage computer 1 remotely, so that is no, because remote volume management is not enabled. Let's go to the second one. From computer 2 you can use the registry editor to edit the registry of computer 1 remotely. So computer registry, we have nothing that has been mentioned here, so there is no such thing. But if you go that the service, these are the services that are currently running on computer 1. So some of them are stopped and some of them are running. But if you see remote registry, it's being stopped. So if it is stopped, then how can you edit it? Yeah, so you can't edit because it's stopped. So this answer is also no, because from computer 2 you cannot use registry edit to edit the registry of computer 1 remotely, because the registry service is stopped. Remote registry service is stopped. Yeah, so that is why this is also no. So first one is no, second one is no. Let's see number 3. So number 3 says, from computer 3 you can use performance monitor to monitor the performance of computer 1. So let's see performance monitor. Performance monitor is I believe is which one is performance monitor? RPC. So remote procedure call RPC is used to monitor the performance of computer, which is enabled, and from this you should be able to view to use the performance monitor to monitor performance of computer 1. But the only problem is to view the performance of computer 1 you also need, along with RPC, you need remote registry as well. So remote registry is not enabled. So that means that if both of these are not enabled, those both of these are not running, that means you cannot perform the monitor performance monitor. So this is also no. Yeah, from computer 3 you cannot use performance monitor to monitor the performance of computer 1 because it requires both RPC, yeah, remote procedure call, which is running, but it also require remote registry service, which is stopped. So that is why it cannot perform this operation as well. So all of these are no, no, no. And question number 75 is really easy, but you need to remember these are all based on the requirements for Windows 11. So if you need to install Windows 11 in virtual machines, you need some requirements. Uh, so those requirements are when at least second generation, like generation 2, and at least two virtual processors, and at least 4 gigabit of of memory, which is RAM, and I believe 60 GBs of hard disk space. You can read further Windows 11 requirements. I believe some of them I have given here. Anyway, so based on the explanation I gave you, is VM1 is one generation, and I told you at least a second generation. So VM1 is one generation processor and four virtual processors. So here it qualify the requirements, but here the generation doesn't qualify the requirements. So here also qualify, and here it also meets the requirement, but this one doesn't. Here doesn't really, VM1 doesn't really meet the requirements. So VM1 you cannot install Windows 11 on VM1. Let's go to VM2. So VM2 you can, yeah, here it meets the requirements, which is a second generation, and for Windows 11 you need at least second generation, but here virtual processor is only one, and I told you you need at least two virtual processors. Yeah, so, and here also meets the requirements. The only problem is here. So Windows on VM2 we can also not install Windows 11, right? Windows on VM3, if you see, it is second generation, and virtual processors are 2 and 4 GB RAM. So that means here this VM3 meets the requirements, and we can install Windows 11 on VM3. Just remember, we need at least second generation virtual two virtual processors and at least 4 GB RAMs. So these are the all these defined here are the list criteria for installing Windows 11. And also I think secure boot and TPM, or I forgot, that will also, they also must be yeah, TPM. So general settings, secure boot, capable, and TPM, they will also be enabled, they must also be enabled. And other requirements you can read. So you see at least 4 GB of memory and at least two virtual processors and storage, you say 64 GBs or more. I'm gonna put this link there. Okay, so this question is really simple. If you see user 1 is member of group 1 and the license is given none. So if there is no subscription service assigned to user 1, that means he cannot upgrade any Windows, yeah, because he hasn't been assigned any license. While upgrading needs license. So if you see user 1 can complete the autopilot process. Okay, so it is regarding the autopilot process. In the question it says you capture um, and upload the hardware IDs of the devices in the marketing department. So these are the devices and the operating system installed: Windows 10 Pro, Windows 10 Home, and Windows 10. So these are the operating system installed, and for each of the following statement select yes. So it says user 1 can complete the autopilot process on device 1. So if you see user 1 is a member of group 1 but has no license assigned, so that means no, user 1 cannot complete the autopilot process. To complete the autopilot process he need to have a license, yeah, so that is no. And then it says user 2 can complete the autopilot process on device 1. So user 2 has the license assigned. User 2 has the license assigned Microsoft 365 E3, and device 2 is a what it says device 2. Okay, no, it says device 1. So device 1, yeah, device 1 is Windows 10 Pro. So yes, that is yes. User 2 can upgrade, can complete the autopilot process, autopilot profile, um, which is Windows 10 Pro. Yeah, so that is yes. And then user 3 can view device setup information during the enrollment phase of device 1. User 3 can view the device setup information during the enrollment phase of device 1. So user 3 has Microsoft license assigned E5 and is a member of group 2, but if you see here, group 2 has assigned the enrollment status page. Yeah, so that means yes, he can view the device setup information during the enrollment phase of device 1, right? So the first one is no, because user 1 has no license assigned, and the second one, user 2 can complete the autopilot process, yes, because user 2 has a license assigned and device 1 is Windows 10 Pro, and user 3 can view device setup information during the enrollment phase, and that is also yes, because user 3 has here assigned the role that's been added to the enrollment status page. Okay, one thing let me tell you about Windows 10 Home. So Windows 10 Home, they cannot be upgraded to Windows Enterprise. But here in this question, there is no discussion about whether the deployment process is to upgrade to Windows 10 Enterprise or Windows 11. It just says you have configured the autopilot configuration profile. So in this case, Okay, so anyway, there is no even no discussion about device two. So it's device one, all about device one. Just remember, Windows 10 Pro can only be upgraded using subscription service. Okay. Question number 77 is asking about how many devices you can activate using the Enterprise E3 license or Enterprise E5 licenses. So you need to understand, you need to remember how many devices um, can a user um, add into Intune or can activate using Enterprise E3 license or Enterprise E5 license. But here it is asking about only Enterprise E3 license. So you have Microsoft 365 subscription that contains a user named user1. User1 is assigned a Windows 10 11 Enterprise E3 license, right? So Enterprise E3 license is assigned to user 1. Now you use Microsoft Intune suite to manage devices. User 1 activates the following devices. So device 1, device 2 and device 3. So these three devices are activated by user 1, right? They are enrolled by user 1 in Intune. How many more devices a user one can activate? Two devices, three devices, seven devices, eight devices. So he already activated three devices. Now how many more he can add? So if you come here to the licenses, so I have stated here that the number of devices to manage using Intune with different licenses. Sorry for the typo. So different licenses. Microsoft 365 E3, with this license you can manage five devices, right? And here it says that the user one has assigned Enterprise E3 license, which is this one. So the correct answer here is A, two devices, because he already enrolled three devices. Now he can further enroll two more devices, and then five devices complete. After that he won't be able to enroll any other device. If he was given Microsoft 365 E5 license, then he would be able to add 10 devices, right? So the correct option is A, two devices.